By the way, this is a guy, by the way, who has exposed corruption on the Board of Medicine and for the state. And the corruption that's going on there is staggering compared to what you guys are learning about now. Each year we give this award. This is our First Amendment award. We give this award to two individuals who show with their actions that they value the First Amendment to our Constitution. Winners of this award have made a significant difference in holding public officials accountable, fought for transparency in government, and gone above and beyond the call of duty to defend and protect our right of free speech, a free press, freedom of religion, or has been a whistleblower. Did my Sweeney make it into the room tonight? I know he's going to be here later, right? They are or have taken bold action and made personal sacrifices to defend the First Amendment. Now, our First Amendment award this year, do we have the award? Thank you. Oh, look at that. Brenda, you're the best. Our First Amendment award tonight goes to Methuen School Committee member Jana DiNatale, whom we nominated last year from the podium. And I'm going to tell you why. So last year, a week before our bash, the Methuen School Committee decided they were going to have an illegal meeting. They didn't tell anybody they were going to have a secret meeting, but they had one. And they pretended that it was a meeting about litigation. But when they got into the back room, they spent about 15 to 20 minutes beating the hell out of Jana DiNatale because she dared to go on Facebook and go on social media and ask parents in Methuen what they thought about safety in their schools, and kids from Lawrence coming into Methuen and going to the schools and taking resources from Methuen kids, and asked the parents what they thought and what they knew, and to share their stories and take a survey. And Superintendent Judy Scannell didn't like that. And her little poodle on the school committee, Mr. DeZoglio, didn't like that. Bob Vogler didn't like that. All the people who are suck-ups on the school committee did everything that they could to push down Jana DiNatale because she dared to go out and talk about an issue in public that they didn't want anyone to talk about. So they beat the crap out of her at an illegal secret meeting, and then 2 weeks later, they came back and they approved what they call the minutes, which is like the record of the illegal secret meeting that they had, and pretended in those minutes that what they talked about in executive session was litigation, when litigation was never talked about. What they talked about was how inappropriate it was for Jana DiNatale to be asking the public anything about anything that makes the superintendent look bad. So she sat at the next meeting and said, I'm not going to approve these minutes because that's not what happened, and forced them to be transparent and put in the meeting minutes what they actually did. And I think that takes a lot of balls. She's not a politician. She's not looking to run for mayor someday. She's not looking to be a senator someday. She doesn't think she has a political career. She's a mom who has kids in the public school system and does what she can to try and make sure that the schools are safe.
She's also a lawyer.
And she's also a lawyer. I could use a lawyer right about now. You looking for a client? So for these reasons and really a whole lot more, but we don't have all night, I want to give our First Amendment award to Jana DiNatale.
Or get into the picture.
Okay, now I've got one more surprise for you. I'm going to do it up here because I'm going to try and do it right. You know, I talked a little while ago about corruption, and we've talked about the First Amendment, and we've talked about bad politicians. I lost my script. I don't know where it is, but I can do it off the top of my head if I have to. Is that it? I don't know what it is. Everybody who knows me and everyone who knows the people who support us, especially in this room, know that you can't find somebody who's more pro-cop than I am. You'll never find anybody on this planet who will defend police officers the way I will. Except my mom, who adequately points out that there is one other person who's more pro-cop than me. I appreciate that, Mom. And by the way, my parents, I I didn't get a chance to thank them during my remarks. I was going to do it later, but let's get it in now. Auntie Dottie and Uncle Frankie are here. They raised me. Can you even imagine what that job was like? Can you imagine what a...
It wasn't easy.
Can you imagine? So I'm 100% pro-cop. And I'm almost always going to side with the cop and give the cop the benefit of the doubt when there's a benefit of the doubt to give. But I'm also 100% against bad cops. There is nothing worse to me, nothing, than a cop who abuses their authority. There is nothing that pisses me off more than finding out someone who's wearing a badge and a gun is dishonoring what my father died for and what my father lived for. And what Uncle Frankie, who retired as a lieutenant on the Lawrence Police, lived his every day for. And what some of these other guys we've given awards for. And so when I find out that there's crooked cops out there, you know, the media likes to blow it up and they like to make every cop look like a bad cop. And that's just really unfair. And a lot of times, those of us who defend cops in those cases find ourselves maybe defending a cop in a questionable situation where we shouldn't. And we shouldn't. So our next First Amendment award, because at the Valley Patriot we're 100% against bad cops, crooked cops, cops who work back channels to make sure their misdeeds don't get documented, guys that do things off book. Turtle Boy Sports has been able to do in the last few months what decades of politicians promising you at election time have not been able to accomplish. The colonel of the state police had to resign because of corruption stories broken by Turtle Boy Sports. And I think that deserves a round of applause. We know the vast majority of cops are good cops. And we'll point that out every single chance we get. But when there are guys that are out there disgracing the badge, it makes it a lot harder for the good cops to do their job. It makes it a lot harder for the good cops to be trusted by the public. So I'm really, really thrilled tonight that he's here. Actually, she's here. You guys are getting in on the ground floor of something. Everybody wants to know what Turtle Boy Sports is, right? Well, Turtle Boy's here tonight. He's in the back room when to call him out. Our next First Amendment award tonight goes to Turtle Boy Sports for going out and exposing corruption. They've been censored on YouTube, they've been censored on Facebook, they've been censored on Twitter, and yet every single day they go out and they expose corrupt politicians, people who have scamming GoFundMe pages, people who, by the way, this is actually Mrs. Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy couldn't make it, he sent his wife. So this is Mrs. Turtle, and it's really the Turtle Boy. This isn't just somebody in a costume, I promise you. And we want to give our next First Amendment award to Turtle Boy Sports for exposing all the corruption and everything you guys do every day. She knows what's important. All right, we're almost done. How about Pina Principali? She's running for state representative in Tewksbury. Is she not adorable? Stand up. Let them see how adorable you are. Every time I see her, I say I want to bake her a pie. She looks like she just stepped out of Mayberry, doesn't she? She looks so wholesome. How does she not win this election?
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. I wanted to give you some love at the microphone. And by the way, if you're here and I didn't thank you tonight, and I probably should have thanked you tonight, please understand it's just total chaos up here, and my whole life is total chaos anyway. So it's not that I've forgotten you, it's just that somehow we missed it in the program. And before we go on, I do want to have a real round of applause, especially, maybe I should have Francisco do this. Is he still here? Yes. Francisco, that's fun to say. Now while Francisco is coming up, we have a Gold Star family in the room. Mr. and Mrs. Lowe and Norman, their son, can you believe I remembered his name finally after 5 years? Here at our yellow table at our Gold Star family, they lost their son, Edmund Lowe, in Afghanistan. And we like them to come every year. And we give them a free table to thank them for their service. And by the way, Mr. Lowe, my mom says she wants her computer back if you're not done with it. You know, they also run Jasmine Computer Service in Salem, New Hampshire, and they're very good at what they do, so give them your business. They're a Gold Star family. Do you want to read this because you're a veteran? Do you want to introduce Francisco? Do we have an introduction for him? I don't think we do. All right, well, we'll just keep going. Thanks for coming anyway. Oh, good. All right, we've got one more thing. We're going to squeeze this in. Justin, you finally showed up? You finally woke up now? Is he here, Justin Crow? There he is. What happened to you? He's going to talk to me about it tomorrow. All right, that's fine. Why don't you, can we have the Scanlon family come back up? We tried to do this once before. We're going to try this one more time, then we're going to do the veterans. The Scanlon family, Lawrence Police, I'm sure Samad and Razzo didn't bail on us right after they got their awards, did they? I'm going to turn this over to Justin, and then we're going to end the night with Francisco.
Yes, come on up here, please.
Oh.
So last year, I had the honor of doing a last call tribute to Officer Jeremiah O'Connor, who was killed in the line of duty in 1959. This year, I have the honor of doing a last call tribute for Officer Eugene Scanlon, died in 1970.